Here we are in Suburban Topeka.
TSLHomestead.com.
TSLHomestead.com. This is one of those lovely in-town permaculture places where you can walk to cool things and and still have your growies. We got the raspberries here, black raspberry canes, and the obligatory mint invasives and the horseradish. Just as long as you don't have a hybrid of those two, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to use them in the same dish.
Yeah, and then what was this? This was the memorial garden?
Yeah, this is for her hedgehog, and this is where the family pets are buried.
Oh, I can smell the mint as I walk through there.
Yeah,
it's great.
This was a volunteer tremendous, and these horseradishes were all cut back and given away, and they came back.
Of course they did.
And
that's what horseradish does.
These are called, there's a name for them, just one of, I can't remember right off the top of my head, but they actually smell nice for people that have such a smell.
So you have this lovely setup with the shark fins.
Yeah,
you see
these are fan, and we've had shark fins on my fence because he has a song called Fins.
Yeah.
And they go to the right and the left. So if you look, some of them go to the right, some of them go to
some
the
go
left.
to the right.
And I always usually have a great white shark fin on my fence post.
These are plywood in case anybody is objecting.
Actually, they're pine.
Pine. Okay.
They've been painted and sealed, and I take them down every few years and repaint them. And if they get too decayed, I replace them.
So these aren't actual shark fins here.
No sharks were filmed.
No sharks were harmed.
In Kansas.
In Kansas, the Kansas fence shark is an endangered species.
It could be. As far as I know, this is the only habitat.
Yeah, so I'm glad they're getting some good habitat here.
Yeah, so our plan is along this back corridor behind the berm on the pond here. That'll be mostly native grasses and flowers. We've decided that these sunflowers are just too prolific.
Wow, that is a bunch of sunflower.
Yeah,
what would you do with this kind of sunflower?
Well, the birds like it.
Fair enough.
So,
yes.
But the problem is they all kind of grow tall and then fall over because they don't. So we're going to put different. We had Mexican sunflowers in there. We really like those, but these love the spot. But I think we're going to take it out. And eventually, as I get this pond filled in, there's going to be a water feature on this side. And the pond's actually going to extend underneath that deck so you can sit on the deck with your feet in the water.
Yeah. Well, that would be a lovely thing during the middle of the summer here.
Yeah.
Under the shade of the trees.
Yeah,
that's a great tree.
Yeah, it's a silver maple. It's eventually going to fall over on us, so at some point we're going to have it taken out. It's probably about 80 years old.
That will be a sad day.
Yeah, we're trying to decide what to replace it with.
An expensive and sad day.
There's a guy who's fairly local that does a really nice job for a reasonable amount of money. So it probably only cost me $1,500 to have that taken down.
Well, that's really reasonable.
Yeah.
See, that's that social permaculture stuff we're talking about, having the relationships.
Yeah. Once you find the guy, because he's the one who took down all the trees that were in my backyard and along the fence before I put up my bar. So you have a bar in your own backyard, so you don't have to go out to a different bar unless you really want to. That's completely true. And
So
it's safer to walk home.
yeah. So taking advantage of indigenous alcohol resources.
Yeah, and actually, in theory, we've got a book called Drink the Harvest.
Oh, Drink the Harvest.
Which shows you how to make recipes, wine and things that you can grow.
So this is
I can make wine out of those.
This is a lot cheaper than going someplace further south over here, I guess.
Yep.
To have a potting shed, greenhouse, where it's comfortable to sit. And you said the most important use of this has been a place to sit when it's miserable outside.
Yep. My wife she thought it would be fun to have a Dutch door, so we actually built her.
There you go.
So that's one of the fun features you can put in if you're building your own stuff.
Oh, and it's separated from the house so that it doesn't wreck the brick and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a guy who owns Ceres Greenhouses, CERES, and he's a nuclear physicist. That's what he used to do. His name's Mark Plinky.
Mark Plinky.
Yeah, he used to talk about Earth News all the time, so you probably have met him. Kind of a thin guy, but he's like from France or something. I mean, he's got an accent like he's French Canadian, maybe.
I can smell the cedar on that.
Yeah,
that's nice.
This is all repurposed fencing.
Yeah.
That I used to have out in my garden. And most of this shack is repurposed wood. I had to buy new for the rafters, and this is 90% clear polycarbonate roofing, but all the rest of it is recycled. A lot of the bigger windows, and these windows came out of somebody was throwing away a screened-in porch.
Yeah.
And all the other windows came out of a flip that my brother was doing.
Well, this is absolutely fantastic as a place to be when you don't want to be outside, but you don't want to be inside.
Yeah, it cuts the wind, and
That's some wide cedar there.
It actually has Wi-Fi.
Ah, yes. Well, naturally.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't you have Wi-Fi in your greenhouse?
You know, it's not.
It actually covers the whole yard.
It's not. You know, the Wi-Fi is like air now.
Uh-huh.
These are really great wide boards. Where'd you get those?
They came off my brother's house. He
Uh-huh.
was putting a hot tub out on a balcony across his master deck, and this was the siding that was on that house that I was replacing. So I actually have to finish the last little bit of it. He just brought over some more of it to finish the few pieces that didn't have it. But I haven't got finished.
I like your
turn it around.
Rainwater Reclamation here.
Yeah, eighth of an inch rain, it'll fill those 2 barrels immediately, which is why Paul's against, it's like you can't really catch enough water to do any good, but it waters our plants.
An eighth of an inch will do that much from that roof.
These 2 gutters are tied together.
You know,
Or actually, it's just that one. No, I forgot about that. These
It's
2 barrels are tied together.
it's funny the difference in thresholds that we have of like, oh, that's not worth doing, except it didn't hardly cost anything.
No.
And it gives you the satisfaction
that I'm capturing some of my water and reducing costs.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff that's recycled. I built this the deck we're standing on here. I love decks because the more deck you got, the less you have to mow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know.
This had a small deck originally, and then I extended it on and around the side, and then put this out here because originally I had my grill out here.
Right.
Before I built that.
But now we have that over there.
And this pond actually has goldfish in it. That it's deep enough. It's pre-formed, but it's deep enough to actually survive the winter.
Oh, I can see them.
Yeah. Oh, they're warm enough. Maybe they'll eat. They don't. When it gets colder, they don't like to come and eat, but maybe they will.
Well, and it's harder for the cats to eat them.
Well, that's the reason that many's over there is you got raccoons.
Ah.
The problem is the raccoons can see the gold ones. We came out and there was a fish massacre one morning. Very sad. So now it has chicken on it.
Yeah, we trapped 8 raccoons in 7 nights one time because they just loved trying to get in on our chickens.
Yeah, that's rough.
We ended up stopping having chickens because it was just so
Watch your step. This is the dog's favorite.
demoralizing. So the dog contributes here.
Yes, the dog contributes. But and these are false indigo, which my wife loves these plants. There's only 3 of them here.
So what is the purpose of false indigo?
I believe that you can actually make coffee out of the roots, but don't quote me on that. My wife just likes the way they look.
Yeah, well that's,
And then this year I had so many extra tomato plants from starting them for friends that I went ahead and just planted them along this fence line.
This is late October and you're
Still harvesting
tomatoes. Look at these. Well, these were really tasty. These ones that you had earlier.
Those are cherry.
Is that?
Yeah, this is Brad's Atomics.
Brad's Atomic tomatoes, huh?
And I've got a whole bush over there that's not quite done. Those may not be right here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I also have green heritage in here. I've got American Pride. I've got this is the
man's natural habitat.
Well, actually yes, but the wife's allowed here too.
Yes, well, it's no fun if the sweetie isn't there.
So we have the secret door.
Well, if you tell me and I put it on this video, it won't be secret anymore.
It's okay. It's a semi-secret door.
Semi-secret.
Didn't realize I had it locked.
Yes. Yes, having a beach bar means you don't have to go to the beach where it's crowded. And
Nope, you don't have to. But,
so you came in the regular door to let me in the secret door.
I did. This is all made out of repurposed materials from friends. This right here is a rolling bar. You can flip it around. And this countertop came out of a temporary hire service. They used it for people to fill out forms, for
right, and then they just didn't use it anymore.
Right, and so I got it when they went out. Like this cabinet came out of some, house flip someplace.
Right.
So somebody gave me the clock, but we basically got fans that are in here.
And you got screens all around, a little air conditioner.
Yeah, it's got it's wired for sound.
Hey, there you go.
And it's got outdoor speakers on this deck, the garage, and the big deck, and you can.
And super soakers for when it gets really desperate out there.
Yeah, or in case this guy named Jake visits and you have to like keep him calm down.
Ah.
This is a freezer that I have a Johnson Controls thermostat.
Right, so you have a super efficient fridge.
Right, it cost me about 10 cents a day.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I've been meaning to do one of these, except I painted my fridge to be the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Nice.
It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
That's awesome.
But it's horribly wasteful.
Yeah.
Someday I'll replace it with
So yeah,
the control
I
like
have
that.
some flooring that I'm eventually going to put in here, but I got like one spot I got to fix over here in the roof that's leaking a little bit around one of the screw holes, and I wanted to get that done before.
I bet you built this for entirely less than it cost you to go to a one Jimmy Buffett concert.
Actually, not quite.
Not
I
quite.
don't know what it costs nowadays. Last time I went to a Buffett concert, tickets were $150 a piece for
That's-
cheap seats.
Yeah.
I spent with the recycled and everything on this. It came in probably under $1,500.
Under 1,500. So you have to use this. You have to use this 10 times,
Yeah.
and then the investment
Yeah.
is paid off. Yes.
So, but yeah, it's we enjoy it. This screen comes out. So if you don't have mosquitoes and bugs like that, but
Yeah.
sometimes you do. So
Party at Eric's house.
Yep.
And then of course the onions invade. They do that. The garlic and the onions.
Sure, and we had a friend of ours moved, and so he gave us a bunch of butternut squash and garlic. So I just haven't got it all processed yet. But
Well, and your parrots
Yep.
seem to be quite happy here.
yeah, my parents are everywhere. So we've got and then this Swiss chard. That's Chard both those places, and this is basil going to seed because I wasn't here to pick it.
That's what happens. You go to Montana.
Godzilla taking care of my gnome problem.
Yeah, I do love how you can like have a building, right? That's your bar, but then it's also your storage.
Right, this is garden stuff.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do back here is we're actually going to put a coop and run between these two buildings.
Oh, fantastic. Stacking your
5
functions in the permaculture way.
Yep. So that's the next project.
And then your
Spring.
beehive. How's your beehive doing back there?
Well, it's not. I mean, those are not currently in use. I had a small hive beetle problem.
Uh-oh.
I liquefied one of my hives in about 2 days, and the other ones, it put so much pressure on it, they swarmed.
Oh.
And so this is a new fence project that I was getting ready to extend the back fence and with my finger. And so,
Yeah, no, not so good on the finger thing.
yeah. So
But look at this fantastic, like, secret garden.
yeah, people are a little surprised when they tend to come back here. And in the front, we've got 5 pawpaw trees.
Oh, fantastic.
We just started playing. But as you can see, I do love decks. So we have the deck dock.
The deck?
Well, that's the pet deck. The deck dock's over here. This is the fire deck because this one's set up for fire ring.
Yeah?
And then that's the main deck. And because of code issues, while it looks like it's attached to the greenhouse, it is actually not. You can actually run a piece of paper between there. They just
Yeah, you have to have them
because
separate.
they're separate.
You got to keep them separated.
And that is 3 feet smaller than I needed to pull a permit for. 'Cause
Those are important things to know about the permits if you're going to live in town.
If you're gonna do in-town jiu-jitsu, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So this is a great. Are you taking notes, Christina?
Yeah, this would be great.
This is my wife's Farley-Gilla, which she's afraid to kill. It's a shade plant, and she put it. And normally this is pretty shady, except a branch fell out right there, and this like ray of sun comes down and just scorched it,
That's a pretty silver oak.
which made her sad.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for sharing your lovely place with us, a place to stay, and also getting this tour. What did you say your website is again?
TSLHomestead.com.
TSLHomestead.com.
Stands for Tiny Sustainable Life.
Tiny Sustainable Life.
Yeah, if you go to tinysustainablelife.com, it'll take you over the other.
All right.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
We will see you again soon. Hopefully Mother Earth News Fair will be back in Topeka this year, and we'll get to hang out.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We'll get them to actually
You're
come.
welcome anytime if you happen to be driving by.
Well,
My wife appreciates 24 hours notice if she wants to see.
yeah, we'll get that. Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, but yeah.
Now, was that an invitation to everybody who's watching the video? Are you
Sure,
gonna
I
get
don't know.
swarmed?
Are you gonna put it up on your website?
Yeah, no, it's going on YouTube and like
Okay.
the world would be knocking.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's in Lawrence. Yeah, that's it. We're in Lawrence. Yeah.
Sure, Lawrence, Kansas is near where I'm at.
Oh.
Not actually in Lawrence, but
Well, more of this on UncleMud.com. We're headed out to check out an earth ship on our way back to Ohio. Stay tuned.